Our next speaker is the Progressive's very own Ruth Conniff. She's been the political editor for many years. She's actually been at the Progressive for 20 years now. She started as an intern at the Progressive even before that. So she grew up with the Progressive, and it's been great working with her all these years. She does incredible work not only in the magazine itself, but on radio. You may have heard her on Joy Cardine's Wisconsin Public Radio show yesterday. You may read her in the Isthmus. She's got a column there. You may see her on TV sometimes. You may read her at our website at progressive.org. So no further ado, please welcome Ruth Conniff.
Thanks, Matt. Has this not been incredible to be part of this? These huge historic rallies, week after week. It's like our whole state keeps swinging back and forth between this awful, depressing news and this incredible, giddy optimism when we all come together. I was sitting in my basement with the television on watching Scott Walker give his budget address. And I just couldn't be down there alone. So I ran upstairs and I grabbed my first grader by the hand. She still had her backpack on, and we ran to the Capitol like everybody else we know. We were all there. You were there and we were there, and we couldn't get in. But there were those huge letters, the shame letters, in front of that white dome. And the whole crowd was just reverberating, chanting, "Let us in." It was just the most cathartic moment. It was just incredible. We went back when we heard the news about the secret midnight vote. And when the Senate passed this god-awful union-busting bill and undid 50 years of labor organizing in 10 seconds, we went back, and this time we got in, and we were all inside, because we knew that's where we had to be, in the Madison Capitol building, which has become our Tahrir Square. Our house. Whose house? I knew I was at the Revolution when I saw my kid's gym teacher, and she told me she had just climbed through a first-floor bathroom window because she had to get inside. And my apolitical neighbor, who I bumped into in that crowd of thousands inside the Capitol building outside the Assembly, who said, "You've never heard me talk about politics before." Well, those days are over. Those days are over. We in this state are never going to be the same again. And as frightening as these times are for so many people who will take the brunt of Walker's cruel budget cuts, and it is going to be bad, we are also experiencing something marvelous, because this is nothing less than the rebirth of broad-based progressive politics and the reanimation of the American labor movement. This is it. This is what we have been waiting for. You know, we on the left, in the left-wing media, we are awfully used to talking among ourselves. And we talk about arcane topics like how the Koch brothers pour billions of dollars into think tanks, and these are part of campaigns that fight labor unions. And we talk about corporate influence on the mainstream media and about how Fox News is part of the right-wing echo chamber. Well, guess what? This is not a private little conversation anymore. This is it, people. We are in the center of political debate in this country, and people who have never read the Progressive magazine or listened to Wart or Grit TV or Democracy Now! Or know about the Center for Media and Democracy are really, really getting it. You should hear my neighbor, a teacher who's married to a Republican who is of no political persuasion that she advertises, talking about how she was completely transformed by the experience of marching with her union into that echoing marble temple of democracy, with the prison guards behind her and the firefighters behind her and their boots drumming on the floor, chanting, "Union power." She said it was so powerful, it was so moving. She is never going to be the same again. I was in Washington, D.C. when the whole thing broke in Wisconsin, and I was dying watching it on CNN. and the pundits were getting it so wrong. And Mary Maitland was on there talking about how fed up people are with overpaid teachers. And how the public schools are nothing more than institutionalized child abuse. Because everyone knows that vouchers and charters in private schools are the real solution. But fortunately, I had some more reliable reporters in my first and fourth grader, who are sitting right here, who marched into the Capitol with their grandparents and their teachers and made their own signs and became, in a very short period, hardcore labor activists. They know all about how government works, how a bill becomes law. This is way beyond Schoolhouse Rock. They know how a movement of people can transform history, and they will never be the same again. They have a voice. They have a voice, and they are using that voice. You can ask some of my formerly apolitical neighbors who the Koch brothers are, or what no-bid contracts mean, or who really benefits economically from these shock doctrine budget cuts that will bankrupt our schools, leave potholes in our roads, and funnel hundreds of millions of our dollars to the governor's corporate cronies. It is a whole different world now, and people really get it. In the conference room at the Progressive Magazine, we have all these shelves of musty-bound volumes, old, dusty, cracked, tabloid-sized editions of the original La Follette's Weekly from 100 years ago, and yellowing copies of the Progressives from the 1930s. And in those bound volumes, you can see photographs of the massive marches led by teachers and other union workers who started a prairie fire in the Midwest. Well, that fire is burning again, and it started here in Wisconsin, and there is no stopping it now. Thank you.